and I started working. In another place. And I remember that is the time I had an encounter with God. And I used to go to club. I used to go, with my friends, we could go for clubbing. And I remember one night that we were going for clubbing with my friend. We had a date, so we were going for clubbing. It was on a Friday. And I remember that day, we used to go to church. We go pray, then after that we go where we are going.
You pray, then you go to club?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We really love God, but we didn't know about salvation. Okay. So I remember that night, a watchman came to us, and the watchman started talking to us about God. And my friend was like, we were like, please, can you stop wasting our time? We have a date we are catching up with. So all this about salvation, stop wasting our time. And the guy really talked to us about Christ.
The watchman.
The watchman. And at that time, I was really frustrated in life. I was looking for a comfort. I was looking for a peace. There was something that I was missing. There was something that I was looking for. And I thought I would get this thing from the club. But at the end of the day, I'll go to those clubs. But at the end of the day,
You're
I'm
still
empty. And I remember that night when this man talked to us. And I told my friend that I can't go.
You can't go.
I can't go where we are going. I have to get born again today. And my friend was like, can you stop all this nonsense?
So where were you? Where you stay? Okay,
we were in the church. We were inside the church. We used to go to church.
Then from there,
pray. Then we go.
Okay.
So that night.
At Pastor Margaret's church?
No. Another church that used to be close to where we used to stay.
Okay.
No, in Bishop Margaret, we used to go when I was in town. When I'm going to work. Okay. So I would pass there in the morning. Okay. But this one is on a Friday night, so we are just going for clubbing. Yeah, back at home. And this guy talked to us, and I felt like I think I need this God. I've tried everything in life and it's not working for me. I've tried beer, I've tried men, it's not working for me.
You still feel empty?
I feel empty. I'm so frustrated in life. And because I remember at that time in my life, I had reached a place where I didn't care anymore about my life. In fact, I knew I'm sick. It reached a place in my life, I thought I'm sick, I have AIDS. So it reached a place, I remember that time, going to my grandma's place, asking my grandma, if I die today, where will I be buried? Because I was very sure, because I had a relationship with a man who had AIDS. And I had the guy he have already died. So I knew very well I'm sick. So however I could have a boyfriend, however I could sleep around, actually I didn't care. I knew I'm already sick.
You see, that is a lie that the enemy brings into our mind, you know. Once he's stolen you, he destroys you, then he kills you, you know. So sometimes when things happen, especially like what was happening to you, know, it puts something in your mind that you're sick, so that you continue living carelessly, you know.
Exactly. And I really lived a very careless life because I didn't care. I knew very well I'm going. I was very sure I was going. And that is the place I was so desperate in life because I didn't see the meaning of life. All what I knew is just to go club, and because I don't have any other life. I don't have any life.
Your mother is dead already?
My mom is dead. I don't have any life. Nobody knows in my family where I am. And I was like, I should also die. There is no need of me. There is no hope for me. And I remember that night, the guy talked to us, and I told my friend, I think I've reached the end of my life, and I want to try this God. I've tried everything else, it's not working for me. Let me try this God. That is I told the guy. So my friend was like, he thought I'm joking. And I told the guy, I want this God.
The watchman guy?
Yes, the watchman guy.
So is he the one who led you to Christ?
He's the one who led me to Christ.
Amazing.
I always look forward, because since that day I've never met that guy.
My goodness.
I really look forward where I will go and meet that man.
This guy, the watchman guy, was that the first time that you met him, or you?
No, the watchman,
he was there all the time.
He used to be there. So he used to see us all the time, coming to church, praying, we go. And now that day he was like, I normally see you girls coming here to pray, then you go. Are you guys born again?
Yes.
And we were like, please, can you stop wasting our time? We have a day to catch up with, so stop wasting our time. But I believe that was the time for God, for my encounter with God.
Did he tell you his name or something?
He told me his name, but I can't even remember.
Oh my goodness.
I can't remember.
It's okay.
Because that was the turnaround of my life.
Of your life.
That night, that was the turnaround of my life. That,
God used that man. Look at that.
He was a watchman.
A watchman.
And
God used him.
I'm telling you, up to today, sometimes when I see people and I'm like, when I remember who spoke Christ to me,
Hallelujah.
who made me accept Christ, I'm like, I'm just overwhelmed, because it is a watchman that made me accept Christ. And that night, that was a real turnaround of my life. I told my friend, I'm not going anywhere. You go wherever you're going, but as for me, I'm not going. I went back to the house. And let me tell you, there was an encounter that I got from God. That period, there was an encounter that I got from God. I started becoming so thirsty for God. I started looking for people I need to talk to about God. I started looking for people who know about God, to talk to them about God. And of course, I was not able to like stand just once and start walking.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, I could fall, but I could
still
rise. Yeah, I could fall, I could still rise. And that is where I became born again. When I became born again, I started walking with God. And of course, the hardship of life, at least now I know I have to walk in the righteousness of God. And I started hustling like any other person who will hustle. I started hustling for my life, at least from one business is not working, from one place to be employed, from one place to another. And that is the place I started seeking the face of God. I started going to Catholic, seeking the face of God. I met this, my friend, a friend of mine who was born again, and he was like, at least he was able to hold my hand, and he started showing me how to having time with God in prayers and whatever. And I started walking with God in that dimension. And at least God started now speaking to me. God could speak to me. God could reveal things to me. And I became a stout Christian. And I started walking with God. And at least God could instruct me what to do. I could do what God is instructing me to do. However, not comfortable it was, but I could do that. And I walk with God, and I remember in 2012, I was ordained. That is the time I was ordained as a pastor. And when I was ordained as a pastor, and when I was ordained as a pastor, I was really excited. My family actually couldn't believe, because everybody knew, like, this one, just leave her. This one, there is no hope
There's
for
no
her.
hope.
So when,
look at that, girl.
yeah.
Look at that. That is what God can do. When people say that you are finished,
Yes.
you are nothing, you're useless. God picks you from there. You know?
Yeah.
He picks you from grace to
Exactly,
grace.
exactly.
That is what God, that is His nature.
Yes.
So never ever despise someone outside there that is nothing, he's finished. You
Exactly.
know? And remember, that one is also, you had a winning attitude. You wanted to win.
Yes.
Despite everything that was happening to you, you know,
Yeah.
there's this thing that kept you
Yeah.
moving. There's this thing that was pushing you. I know that thing was from God. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes God puts it in our hearts.
Yeah.
Yes, and you are a winner.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So I was ordained as a pastor. People really celebrated me. But when I was ordained as a pastor, I was a resident pastor. When I was ordained as a pastor, then I became a resident pastor in the church that I used to. I became a resident pastor, and I pastored the church. And the pressure was so much on me that I need to get married. And as a person, of course, I'm no longer the small girl. Of course, age have gone, and I'm like, I really want to get married. And at that time, I think it had reached a place where I'm like, I'm really desperate. I really want to get married.
So people are giving you pressure that you need to get married.
Yes, people are giving me pressure. I need to get married. I'm a pastor. I need to get married. And I remember that is the place I did a very big mistake of my life, because out of the pressure, all what I wanted is to get married.
You just wanted to get married.
Yes, because you feel like maybe when you're married, you feel like it's you'll get all the fulfillment you need. But that is the place I discovered that when you marry the person that is not your rib, he become a thorn in the flesh. Your life become tears every day, because you are completely out of the will of God. and there is no way that rib can be able to fit in your own rib if it is not your rib.
So did you go ahead and did you get married?
Yeah, I got married to the man, though we did not sign the certificate and all that, but we got married. And I was like, I mean, people try to stop me. My family tried to stop me. I was like, no, this is a guy.
Remember, I always say sometimes, never get married to someone because that person is ready.
Yes.
Get married to that person because you love that person.
Exactly.
Because someone can be ready, but you don't love him.
Yes.
Or you may be ready and you're getting married because you feel that you've reached the right age, the right time to get married. But it's not bad to get married, But don't get married to that person because that person is ready, and maybe because of pressure outside here, Because at the end of the day, it's you who will stay with that person, not people who are giving you pressure.
After
when
the
you have
wedding,
problems, it's you.
After the wedding, everybody goes home.
Exactly.
It is you and your fiancé. It is you and your husband. And that is where my problem started. A place that God had really raised me in the ministry, a place that I had people who used to look up to me. And here it is, I've gotten married, and it is not the will of God, and I'm in a place where I cannot be talked by anybody. I feel this is the right thing for me to do. And I got married. And when I got married, the man that married me, he's not a Kenyan. So immediately we got married. We went to the country.
His country?
To his country. And after that, we were supposed after that to come to Kenya. We work on our papers. We were supposed to go to South Africa to start up a ministry in South Africa. And when we went to his country and come back, I'm already pregnant.
So you met the guy here in Kenya. The guy was here in Kenya?
He was not in Kenya. He was in his country, but we were able to be introduced to each other. So he came, we were able to know each other in a very short while. We found ourselves, we did not even date. We didn't even date at all.
Dating, collecting data.
Yes.
When you're dating does not mean that you've engaged that person.
Exactly.
You're just collecting data. Dating does not mean that person is going to get to marry you. So be careful when you're dating. Okay, I always say, like, dating, you can even date two people because you want to know the exact person who is good for you. Dating, you learn someone. Dating does not mean that you sleep around with that person. Does not mean you start behaving like a wife or a husband,
Exactly.
Doing all the household chores in the house, giving money to that lady. No. You just want to know if this is the right person for you. So never ever confuse dating with someone that you are engaged to.
Exactly. So my own, we couldn't even date. It was in a very rush place. And we found ourselves, we were already together. And we found ourselves, we thought we were in love. That is what we thought, we were in love. But I knew, let me tell you, one thing I've known is that God will always speak to you. God will speak to you through people. God will speak to you even with your show, the show that you look at her and like maybe this one. God will always speak to you through somebody. When you're not walking in the rightful thing and when you're about to make a very bad mistake, God will always send people on your way. And I remember that time my family could talk to me.
But ignored.
I ignored. I knew it inside of me. What I'm doing is not the right thing.
Oh, inside you felt it was not the right thing.
I knew it. I didn't have peace. I didn't have peace.
Then what's...
I didn't have peace, but I was like...
You just have to do it.
I have to do it. I stopped my wedding like... I stopped. Even when... I stopped like 3 times.
You stopped the wedding 3 times?
Yes, I stopped it. Like, I don't think I really want to do this.
I think sometimes, when you're dating, or maybe you've engaged someone and then... there's this thing that's mostly, women say that the person will change. When you're still dating or engaged to this person and you see some things, in this person, in this woman, in this lady, in this man, you ignore and say, I know he'll change when we get married. I know he'll change when we get married. You ignore things, small things. But deep inside your heart, you know that you're not sure. You say, like, this is a mistake, but you keep on. Remember, you're getting yourself into trouble.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I believe.
Me, I knew very well. I knew very well because I didn't have peace. I was really fighting with it. I was really fighting with it. But on the other side, I have pressure. I have pressure in the church. I need to get married. the church cannot be led by a single lady, all those pressures. I stopped that getting for like 3 times when I'm like, I'm not in for it. But at the other side, I'm like, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe if this guy goes, where will I get another one? And age is going. You know, the way the enemy deceits us.
Yeah.
The deceit of the enemy shows you like, if he goes, age is catching up on you. You don't know what is going to happen.
You will not get another one.
You will not get another one. And that is what happened to me, and I was like, maybe I should, maybe it will change.
So you thought maybe it's the devil who is trying to make you not to marry this man, you know? Oh my goodness. It happens to many people outside here, to men and women who are dating, who want to get married, you know.
Exactly.
You see some things in this person that you're dating, you're courting, and then you ignore, you say that he will change, she will change, you know. It's very, very...
It's very, very tricky. And one thing that I've known is that don't ever, as a single person, don't ever ignore those instincts inside of you. Because one of the things that I've known that God speaks to a person is when he gives you peace. When he gives you the inner peace. You're doing something and you're pursuing something, but there is that confirmation inside of you. There is a lot of peace. There is a lot of joy when you're doing this thing. There is a lot of peace. And I ignore whatever I was feeling. I ignore it, and I was like, let me just get into it. And I got into it, and that was the beginning of my sorrows. That was the beginning of the biggest mistake of my life. Because by the time we went to his country and come back, I realized I'm already pregnant. And here it is, I'm pregnant. The guy is in his country, and I'm in Kenya. And the guy was like, I'm not interested in that marriage anymore. Actually, immediately I came to Kenya, he was like, go and tell your family, I'm out. I'm not interested.
No reason?
So I asked him, why do you say so? He said, because I feel like this is not, we did not listen to God.
So the guy was also saved?
He was saved. And he was like, I don't think we did everything in a rush. And I think I've come to the realization of, I don't think it's the right thing for us to do. But when I went to his country, I realized the man is married.
So the guy says he's born again,
Yes.
he's married,
Yes.
and here he is again coming to Kenya,
Yes.
marrying again.
Exactly. But now when I went and I realized the man is already married, I'm already pregnant.
So, okay, when you are there in that country,
Yeah.
so he was still staying with the wife?
Okay, he didn't allow me to go.
So where were you staying when you went to his country?
Of course, I didn't go to his place, to his home. So we stayed in the city center. Okay,
In a hotel?
Yeah, we stayed in a hotel. We stayed in one of his relatives' place also. So we did not really like, he didn't allow me to go inside. But in that place...
To see his mom?
Yes, I couldn't. I couldn't access to see his mom, to see some of his sisters. Some of the sisters I was able to meet because they had a misunderstanding with the wife. So, and they were like, they have parted ways, but they're still together. So, so I realized the man is already married. But here it is, I'm already married.
Pregnant?
I'm already pregnant. I am back to my country. I don't know what to tell anybody. The shame,
a pastor?
I'm a pastor. The shame was all over me.
I can remember.
We tried to pursue to go to, because I'm like, now I'm already in the mess. So I have to push my mess.
You have to carry it.
I have to carry the
You
mess.
have to, that child, you have to give back to that child.
Yes.
Here is the church.
And now
So
I have to
many
get
things.
this guy back to myself.
That is what now you wanted.
Yes, I have to get him back to myself. And the guy told me, I'm not interested in this marriage. So my pregnancy became big every day. The guy that time is not even talking. Actually, he doesn't even talk. You know, where you see someone is online, but he can't talk to you. You talk to him and he's like, just have your life. Just leave me alone.
Goodness.
And I didn't know what to do. I'm a pastor. I'm someone people look up to. I don't know what to explain to people. It reached a place I was so depressed. I became so depressed. And I could speak out to anybody. Nobody knew what was happening. Nobody in my family knew. And my family could ask me and I could tell them, yeah, he's around.